How do you know if you're getting the right service from an editor? My name is Gina. I'm an author, editor, publishing professional. I help you make your writing better. The comment specifically came in on a video in which I was critiquing a query letter, and I mentioned in that video that the query letter had some issues in it that indicated there might be structural problems within the manuscript. And this person says, okay, but if this client came to you and said, fix my query letter, would you fix the query letter or would you tell them to fix the manuscript first? Like, what order does this go in? And it's not really that straightforward. It's different for everybody, and I'm going to go through a couple of scenarios. So oftentimes people come to me and they know exactly what service they want for any variety of reasons. And they say, I am coming to you because I need a developmental edit, or I need a line edit, or I need a pitch package. I know what I need. I know why I need it. And this is what I am booking. And in those cases, I just book the service that they asked for. If you think about it, if you go to a salon and you say, I have been getting my hair colored this color for the last several years, and I want my hair to be cut like this, but without any dead ends on it, then you sit down in the chair and they say, okay, great, we will color you that color. We will cut off your dead ends, and we're just going to do the thing that you asked for. You would be annoyed if you went into the salon and said, I want my hair to be this color and I want you to trim off the dead ends. And they were like, yeah, but what if we made you blonde all of a sudden? Wouldn't you be annoyed? Like, yeah, of course, I know that you can do that, but I didn't ask you to do that. I don't want you to do that. And so the same thing happens in editing services. If people come to me and they know exactly what service they want, I'm just going to provide that service. I'm going to book that service for them. But there are a whole bunch of people who come in, and this was, I would say, makes up maybe 25% of my business, maybe 30%. It's a small but sizable chunk of the business in which people come in and they say, I've been working on this book and I don't know what to do with it. I don't know if it's any good. I don't know if I should keep pursuing it. I don't know if I have any good ideas. I don't actually even know. I just know that I have this idea. I have this thing inside of me, and I don't know how to make it come out. I need help. And in those cases, we have a bit of a conversation. We go back and forth. I look at what a sample of their writing to see where they are. I can usually tell pretty clearly, like, oh, this is very early in the process, so you need kind of a lot of support. Do you have a writing group? If you come to me instead of a writing group, it can be very expensive indeed. It also can be a very long process. My full manuscript work, I am recording this in early July of 2024. I am booked through April of 2025 right now, so it's going to be a long time. That's uncomfortable to sit there and be like, I don't even know if this book is worth pursuing it, but I'm waiting 8 months, 10 months, 11 months for a developmental editor to come up. That doesn't feel good. That's not productive. And so I will often recommend, like, hey, we can do a pitch package. And yeah, you don't even know if you want to self-publish or traditionally publish, but when we go through the pitch package materials, we will look at a query letter in which we talk about your concept, and we really help to clarify stakes and who your main character is and what they want and what their arc is going to look like. We look at a synopsis, so we basically plot out the story and we figure out how to create that connective tissue so the story feels cohesive and we are not just jumping from bullet point to bullet point, but we actually know, like, okay, well, why do they get from one bullet point to the next on that plot? And we create a full and cohesive story arc, and then we look at the opening 10 pages and I address prose and show don't tell, and I address some grammatical issues and really help to craft what those opening pages are going to look like, and they get a sense of what that editing process feels like, because I do 3 rounds of editing with them on all of these documents. And people can find this to be really helpful when they're like, this has helped me to understand what my story is about. I know how to move forward. And they didn't have to pay thousands of dollars for a developmental edit. They didn't have to wait for a big long calendar to open up. Instead, they were able to get in just a few weeks, and they were able to work on something that was much less expensive, and it really helped to clarify plot and stakes and character and setting and tone and structure and all of these things that they were really scrambling around, struggling with. Now, if someone came to me and said, I am ready to query this novel, but I don't actually know what it's about, then I might say, like, do you really want to pay me money to do that? It seems like you're putting the cart before the horse. And I have left comments along those lines when people book pitch packages. I will sometimes, after 2 rounds of editing and they get the synopsis back, and I'll say, this still does not feel like a story is complete. Here is what I think is missing. If this is truly missing from the manuscript, you might need to address these issues in the manuscript. We can't just slap a coat of paint on this and pretend like the synopsis is great if the story underneath, because someone's going to request your story and then see that the novel's not finished, that it's not completed, it's not done. So there is no one size fits all to this. This really has to be a conversation with your editor about what it is that you need, what your writing support has looked like, what your skills are, what the skills of your writing group are. Not everybody needs the same pieces of support, and a good editor should be listening to those questions and those concerns and addressing those for you and your needs specifically.